For my action plan, I looked into LPL Financial, which is a financial planning and advising company. So to begin, this action plan was developed by the organizational culture audit of LPL Financial that we did for the previous assignment, and the purpose of this audit was to evaluate the company's culture and identify opportunities for improvement, while also recognizing the many strengths that LPL already has. LPL has a very strong culture centered on trust, professionalism, innovation, and their client service and advisor independence networks. Rather than suggesting very large changes to the company, I decided to do smaller changes that could be made to things that mainly already exist within the company, along with adding a few things that would be very manageable for the company to add. The audit identified that technology was one of the most visible aspects of LPL's organizational culture. Employees often work highly digitally in a very paperless environment, except for when they have to file in paperwork that was already hard copied, but it already all goes into the electronic system, so almost everything that they do is online. They use platforms called ClientWorks and Redtail. These are systems that support communication with individual branches, but there are limited opportunities for employees across different branches to collaborate. My recommendation would be to create a centralized communication platform that allows employees throughout the entire company to share ideas, connect, and ask questions that other advisors at other branches might have experienced. That's something that they definitely lack, and it's mainly just communication within the office. LPL has a very strong mission set on its core values. The core values are do the right thing, drive our client success, win together, create and share joy, and pursue greatness. They have 5 core values, and my recommendation is to continue reinforcing these values throughout the employee experience. This can be accomplished by incorporating them into onboarding, leadership and development, performance evaluations, and employee recognition programs. Reinforcing these values can help to give the employees the understanding of how their work contributes to the organization's long-term success and their client success. The branch is observed during this audit operates on a Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 4:30 schedule, but the schedules vary daily to accommodate clients' needs. Sometimes clients can come in earlier if that appointment is what works for them, or a client can come in later in the day if that works better for them. After their scheduled hours, the advisor is open to changing that, again, for the client's needs. My recommendation would be to continue this flexible approach because it's very important to put your clients first, but also maintain a regular communication between employees so that everyone knows what the scheduling is and who needs to be where, along with having team meetings during the core business hours whenever possible, along with shared calendars, meeting summaries, and that would help ensure that all employees are informed even when the schedule is varying. Currently, the employees occasionally gather for informal lunches. This does help to create good relationships within the branch, but I would recommend expanding this recognition by creating annual company-wide conference that brings together advisors, branch employees, and corporate staff. And that conference would include leadership presentations, networking opportunities, technology updates, professional workshops, and this could conclude with an awards dinner that would recognize employees' achievements. This is something that I'll discuss later, but this would be a great opportunity for everyone to connect, along with an incentive for people to do their best work. So the audit found that training and professional development are already very important strengths at LPL. My recommendation would be to focus on expanding these opportunities by offering additional leadership development, mentorships, programs, and continuing education. I also recommend establishing a structural innovation program where employees can submit ideas that they have for improving processes, technology, or client experience based on their experiences or based on what they think could work. This would encourage employees to share their ideas that would demonstrate innovation within the company, and it would bring together the idea that everyone has a responsibility within the company and supports a culture of continuous improvement. So as I mentioned previously, recognizing employees for their contributions is very important to maintaining a positive organizational culture. And in addition to the competitive compensation, that employees should be recognized for demonstrating core values, improving service, collaborating with coworkers, or contributing innovative ideas. These are just a few examples of some of the awards that could be given at that conference that I discussed previously. And I think that this would really do a great job at reinforcing the idea that hard work is rewarded, and make all the employees want to do their best every single day. And throughout the year, I also think that managers could recognize certain milestones of employees, such as work anniversaries and successful projects, to reinforce the employee appreciation across the board. Talent management involves supporting employees throughout every stage of their employment. This includes recruitment, and recruitment should continue focusing on hiring individuals who align with the LPL values, while bringing diverse experiences and perspectives to the organization. I think that once the employees are hired, they should have access to mentorship, career development opportunities, leadership training, and continuous learning. And finally, structured exit interviews should be used to identify opportunities for improvement of strengths and employee retention, because it is important to hear what your previous employees thought about the business and how you could improve on certain things. I also found that communication within individual branches is effective, but there are fewer opportunities from different employees from different branches to interact. And I think it would be very important to create a centralized communication platform where all employees across the country can exchange ideas and ask questions, and share things that worked for them, that didn't work for them, so that other advisors and employees at the branch don't make the same mistakes as others. And leadership should also continue communicating organizational updates, such as technology improvements and employee success stories, to strengthen transparency throughout and collaboration throughout the organization. Right now, they only use emailing systems from higher up corporate to talk with the advisors and the other staff members. It's not very personalized, so I think it would be very important for everyone to be able to be connected, so that things can just move a little bit more smoothly. LPL's independent advisor model is one of the organization's greatest strengths, and I think that this needs to remain a central part of its culture. Right now, there's LPL, a larger branch that has all of the resources, such as ClientWorks and Redtail, that they use, and then independent financial advisors can go and start their own branch under the LPL financial name and have their own clientele, have their own schedule, but they work under LPL as a certified advisor with that reputation, along with the access to all of the platforms and communication styles that they have. This is really a great structure, and I don't really think that there's much that needs to be done with this except for the continued communication between all areas of the company. Overall, the organizational cultural audit helped to show that LPL has built a strong culture centered on trust and professionalism, innovation, and exceptional client service, but the recommendation in this action plan are designed to strengthen these existing cultures, to strengthen through improved communication, employee development, recognition, collaboration, and innovation by continuing to invest in these employees while preserving its independent advisor model. LPL Financial will be well positioned to continue for growth and long-term success. Thank you.